So today we're going to take a look at what's going to happen if the Hungarians try to form an empire in the modern day. This video is going to be very unrealistic. All the events that are going to happen are purely fictional. But yeah, let's see what happens if they try to form an empire in the modern day. Let's see who they declare war on, how they expand and all those other stuff. But before we get into this video, first of all, I want to mention that all my videos are meant to be unrealistic. Also, alliances don't exist in my videos. And make sure to subscribe to the second channel where I'm uploading Age of History 3 videos. But yeah, with all those things said, now let's get right into the video. Now, Hungary over here, it's a fairly strong country, but they're not too strong. They are gonna have to militarize their country if they would ever want to expand. And now for that, the Hungarians are gonna take their time. They're gonna try their best to improve their economy and their military. And let's say after a few years of militarization, they would want to go on their first military campaign. This only happens because they have a very weak neighbor. This neighbor is of course Slovenia. So yeah, now let's see. We can see that the Hungarian forces now push into Slovenia. The Slovenians are heavily outnumbered here, and the Hungarians eventually get to the capital. The capital city of Slovenia fell, after which the remaining parts of Slovenia surrender. This was a decisive victory for the Hungarians. I mean, Slovenia was a weak country, but a victory is a victory. In a peace negotiation, we can see that all of Slovenia got completely annexed by the Hungarian Empire. This benefits the Hungarians a lot because now they have direct access to the sea, which is great for their economy. They might as well just start developing a good navy. But yeah, that's not happening right now. And as of right now, they're going to be focusing on their land forces, which they are improving every day. We can see that the Hungarians are recruiting troops from all over the country. They're also importing tanks, aircrafts, and other military equipment. It's going to take them a few more years, or even a few more decades. After all this time, the Hungarians are once again ready for another military campaign. And the easiest target for them right now is going to be Croatia. So yeah, now let's see. We can see that the Hungarians now push in from the west, and they start to push around. They cut off the southern parts of Croatia from mainland Croatia. Though these regions are heavily defended, the Hungarian troops start to push down, and eventually, after being cut off from the mainland, the remaining southern parts go ahead and surrender. The Hungarians eventually break the stalemate, and they start to push in. Eventually, the Croatians lost their capital city, and after that, the remaining parts of Croatia go ahead and surrender. This was yet another decisive victory for the Hungarian Empire. And now let's take a look at another peace negotiation. And yet again, we can see that all of Croatia got completely annexed by the Hungarian Empire. But guys, these are side quests for the Hungarian Empire. They wanted to start things off with taking Transylvania, which was their initial goal. I think all of this is Transylvania. But yeah, Romania is a pretty strong country. Even right now, if the Hungarians were to declare war on Romania, they would not be able to take these guys out. So the Hungarians are going to chill for now, even though they desperately want Transylvania. A very major event happens here, and I don't know if this would be possible in real life or without an invasion, but the Austrians and the Hungarians basically want to join each other again. But this time, the name is still going to be the Hungarian Empire. It's not going to be Austria-Hungary. So yeah, without even declaring war or invading each other, we can see that the Austrians now join the Hungarian Empire, which has significantly strengthened the Hungarian Empire now, as they now have access to a lot of new military equipment. A few more years go by, and the Hungarians were developing a pretty good navy. This navy was going to be used to invade another country which hugs the Adriatic Sea. This country was going to be Albania. Reason is unknown. Might be because the Hungarians already want a base down here. I don't know, but we can see that the Hungarian navy now has arrived on the coast of Albania. They make a naval landing down in the south, where they start to push around. The far better Hungarian military is not facing any difficulties while invading Albania. Eventually, the capital city fell, after which the remaining parts of Albania surrender. And this was yet another decisive victory for the Hungarians, and now they're becoming an unstoppable force here. So yeah, they still go on and strengthen their economy and their military, of course, and now it's actually doing pretty well. Their neighbors are pretty scared because they are now a regional power. But before going on more invasions or military campaigns, we can see that they send out ultimatums. These ultimatums were sent out to Kosovo and Montenegro, basically demanding their annexation. These guys had to accept, as they saw Hungarian forces on their borders. And yeah, both these guys got completely annexed. But the Serbs are really not happy about what happened down here. They really do not appreciate the Hungarians taking Kosovo, which they claim as their own territory. The Serbs and the Hungarians hate each other now. They're now rivals. And at some point in the future, the Serbs, after preparing for a bit, decide to declare war on the Hungarians. But let's see how it goes for the Serbs. Serbs. We can see that the Serbian troops now push into Kosovo, and they were easily able to take the entire region, but this is just because it was a surprise attack and the Hungarians were not prepared. The Serbs also push up in the north, securing some of these Hungarian regions, and they now push towards the capital city of Budapest. The Hungarians mobilize their forces up in the north, and they start to push back the Serbs. Down in the south though, the Serbs are gaining ground. They eventually push into Montenegro, securing some of these regions down here, but up in the north they're getting pushed back. Eventually we can see that they get pushed back all the way to their borders, but down in the south we can see that they have secured the entirety of Montenegro, and all that remains is Albania. But the Hungarians start to push into Serbia from north, and because of this, the Serbs are panicking because the Hungarians have almost got to the capital city of Belgrade, and because of that they want to accelerate their push down in the south. But the Hungarians down here were able to hold off. They were not completely pushed out of Albania, and unfortunately for the Serbs, they got too preoccupied with the southern invasion. They lost their capital city, and because of that, the country of Serbia surrenders, leaving all these troops in the mercy of the Hungarians. But they all come down to a peace negotiation. So yeah, now let's look at that. And yeah, maybe invading the Hungarians was not the best thing that they could have done. The Serbs now cease to exist, which makes the Hungarians even more strong. And there is one thing that I really don't like about these borders. Bosnia is looking not so nice. They're completely surrounded by the Hungarians, and just to fix that, yeah, after a few years of the Serbian invasion, the Hungarians now declare war on Bosnia. But guys, times have changed significantly. The Hungarians now have access to a lot of new military equipment. Their military is doing a little too well. Their Balkan army is amazing. They're crushing it. The Bosnians see this, they make a smart move, and they surrender without a proper fight. And this is what the Hungarian Empire looks like right now. I know they're looking pretty buffed, but wait a minute, they kind of remind me of something here. God, what is it? Let me know in the comment section what it was. After a few decades of militarization, the Hungarians finally go ahead and declare war on the Romanians, and this is about to get hideous. We can see that the Romanians now start to push into Hungary, and it's kind of weird, you know? We thought that the Hungarians would start invading these guys. The Romanians are now in mainland Hungary, and they might as well just get to Budapest, which is the capital. God, I don't know what the Hungarians are up to here. Oh, wait a minute. What did the Hungarians do? Okay, so basically, before the whole war started, the sneaky Hungarians had used their navy. They had secretly put their navy over here in the Black Sea, and they wanted the Romanians to use most of their military equipment over here, invading the Hungarians on the mainland. And now the Hungarian navy springs into action. They're using pretty much all of their naval assets down here, and they start to push around. They're following the Danube River. Eventually they get to the capital city of Romania. Unfortunately for the Romanians, it was not that heavily defended, as most of their military equipment was over here invading the Hungarians. They lost Bucharest, and they also lose all of their coastline. The troops over here surrender as they were demoralized and demotivated. That's what happens when you lose your capital city. A few more years go by. This is all the progress made by the Hungarians. But yeah, after all this chaos, and after knowing the fact that the Hungarians don't want to annex all of Romania, the remaining parts of Romania go ahead and surrender. And now let's take a look at a peace negotiation. And in a peace negotiation, we can see that all of these parts of Romania were completely annexed by the Hungarians. This is definitely not the Hungarian Empire at its peak. I don't want to continue the video because it got too long, but at some point they would finish things off by taking out the Slovakians and the Czechs. And yeah, this is the Hungarian Empire at its peak. So this is going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me what you guys want to see in the future. And thank you for watching.